A few months ago, we had the good fortune of having another AI expert on the show, Professor Stuart Russell, and he was one of the leading signatories on a petition, essentially, Elon Musk included, and a lot of top tech luminaries included, to halt AI development until these safeguards were put in place. Now, I want to understand from you, where do you stand on that side, on that particular debate? Because was that something realistic? Because now, when we all get distracted by all these AI developments and really stand up and take notice of what GPT-4o is all about, Apple Intelligence is all about, marketing machineries are working in overdrive, that conversation and that narrative seems to be forgotten.
Yes, well, I do know Max Tegmark, who wrote that letter. He did ask me to be one of the original signatures of the letter, and I declined. I didn't think it was an honest letter. I do think there are issues here that we need to care about, we need to be worried about. But the idea that calling for a pause for 6 months was going to be a solution to anything didn't seem to me to be honest. It didn't seem to be honest, because if you truly believed of the fears that were raised by this letter, then why would you pause for 6 months? You'd pause until you actually solve those problems. Um, and secondly, I didn't believe there was any hope that, given the financial pressures, that the tech companies were just going to stop because we asked them to stop. There was absolutely no hope in that. So it wasn't honest in that sense. But it wasn't honest because, like many of my colleagues working in the field, I actually don't believe that the sorts of threats that were being outlined in that letter need to trouble us today. There might be a distant future where we do have to worry about super intelligent machines and where that's going to take us, but that's some way off. And that's actually it's quite dangerous to make such a claim, such a call now. There's a fable of the boy and the wolf. If you cry wolf too often, then when a real wolf turns up, people won't be listening. And I'm actually somewhat fearful that indeed this letter has created that little bit of problem, that in the future, when we do have to warn the general public that these machines now are becoming rather too capable, and it's potentially quite dangerous, and that they can fall into the wrong hands and be used for malevolent purposes, that people will say, but you already cried wolf once, and it was turned out not to be anything to worry about.